Hello and welcome. My name is Ren and this is my channel Paranoid Tarot. In this read, we're going to look into what lunar energy best suits you. Each phase of the moon has a different meaning and connotation behind it. So today we're going to find out what phase best matches you and what it means. First, we have green adventuring to represent pile 1. It represents freedom and good fortune, and is ready to join us on our quest to free us of anything that limits our joy and growth. Its zodiac sign that it represents is Aries. Its numerological number is 3, and its elements that it represents are earth and water. Excuse me. Yes, no, that's correct. Now let's see what card we have to represent pile 1. A new start is coming with the new moon. Next, we have a rainbow moonstone. This stone increases our patience and emotional intelligence. It helps us to be creative and open to goodness, to explore the world and all its mysteries. The zodiac signs it represents are Cancer, Libra, and Scorpio. Its numerological number is 4, and the elements it represents is wind. And the card we have to represent pile 2 is Surrender to the Divine with the Full Moon. Next, we have the Sakura agates, also known as the cherry blossom agate, the flower agate. And it is thought to transmit tremendous energy that can change people's lives. Within healing circles, it's known as the stone of manifestation and growth process. It activates and connects our heart and root chakras, which bridges the gap between emotions and reality. The zodiac sign it represents is Libra, but it can also represent Taurus, Cancer, Capricorn, Virgo, Scorpio, and Pisces because of its feminine energy. Its numerological number is 7. And the elements it represents are earth and fire. And the card we have to represent pile 3 is what do you need to release with the waning moon? If any of these speak to you, whether it be the card, the stone, both correlating, or maybe a stone to one calls you, but the card for another one does, and maybe you have 2 piles and multiple times of the moon, that'll be significant for you. And multiple phases of the moon, rather. So don't be afraid to click on multiple piles. This is a timeless read, so it doesn't matter what day or year you listen to this video. And as long as you are drawn to it, you will find the message that is meant for you. And I look forward to doing your read today. Let's get to it. Hello, pile 1, and welcome. If you chose the green adventuring along with the new moon, a new start is coming, then this read is for you. Now, what does this card mean? We're going to look into that before we pull out your tarot cards and the rest of your oracle cards. This card means there is a yes coming your way. This is one of the most auspicious cards in the deck. It's totally positive and suggests something new and exciting is developing. The situation you're asking about is blessed, and you are on target to achieve your goals. The message from the universe is that you're starting all over again in some way, be that on a new or better course or just feeling more positive about achieving your desired outcome. If you've been feeling stagnant, this card reminds you that life goes in cycles and that you're moving into a new cycle now. This is the time to wipe the slate clean. If the situation you asked about has become toxic, either that will clear up now or something totally new and fresh is on its way. Along with this, the new moon marks the start of the waxing cycle and the midpoint of the dark moon. It's a dark and veiled time when the moon is invisible and a time of rebirth. It's a time that witches do their work, making wishes and laying down intentions for a new cycle. An intensely magical time when it's easier to pierce the veil to other worlds. This is a very, as the description goes, a very magical time and a good time to do spell work, a good time to light candles and meditate and try to reach a higher plane. Pile 1. All right, now we will look at the Neon Moon deck, which I love because it has this purple edge that's just gorgeous. And we will look into your past, present, and future to be able to find out a little bit more about what's going on in your life right now. And once we attune to you, Pile 1, then we will look more into this lunar energy surrounding you. First, for your past, we have the Three of Vials, which is the Three of Cups. Now, the Three of Cups represents celebration, friendship, creativity, collaborations. This suggests you've been working on a project with a group or perhaps just one other person. Or perhaps this is about teamwork, about working with your fellow employees at your job, and things have been going well. It was a merry time. Though for your present card, we have Death in Reverse. Let's look at what this looks like normal ways. Okay. Death in Reverse means resistance to change, personal transformation, inner purging. Perhaps things have been going well, Pile 1, and you're afraid of change because you don't want the good times to stop. You want things to keep going. But everything has to work in a cycle. It can't just be good, good, good all the time. That's not to say that what comes next is going to be bad. It could still be more good. But we can't be afraid of that change and moving into the next cycle. And that's what I'm feeling like you're afraid of right now, Pile 1. And that's what's holding you back right now and keeping you from better things that could be to come. For your future, we have the Five of Arms in reverse. This card represents the Five of Swords. And this means reconciliation, making amends, past resentment. So perhaps things were going well at first in this group scenario. Then you weren't agreeing with someone and you were resistant to change, you're resistant to taking on their ideas and their perspective and letting someone else take the reins. And this is suggesting that in the future, you're going to make it up with this person, whoever it is. Right now, things are kind of tense, but it's going to get better. There's going to be apologies made, whether it's on your end or theirs, though I get the feeling it needs to be on your end, Pile 1, if I'm completely honest. Now that we have a basis of kind of what's going on, let's look more into what phase of the moon is best for you for doing either spell work or meditation or journaling your thoughts, your dreams, or thinking about projects, working on projects. What's going to be the best time where you feel most inspired, where you just get that perfect idea and come up with just the best way to do what you're trying to do right now. We have prosperity lies ahead. New moon and Taurus. Funny how we got a new moon again. So I really feel like the new moon is the phase for you, Pile 1, to start to do this, to make a difference, to be able to get on this new journey and new path and get onto this road of forgiveness and really making amends and working together as a team. Now, this card specifically has its own meaning. This card will often come up when you're inquiring about financial matter or when you're doubting your self-worth. This card suggests you can have what you want, including material things, but you must believe in yourself. This comes down to the laws of attraction. Value yourself and others will value you too. You create abundance. Taurus is associated with luxurious Venus, and this card holds the new moon energy. So now is a good time to make a 12-month month-to-month financial plan. This card can also signal the start of a new relationship or of sexier times. If you've been wrestling with something for a long time, the new moon in sturdy Tauros is a sign not to give up just yet. Also, what could help you attune to the moon is to get or give a massage. This is healthy for your body and healthy for your mind. And if you've been saving up or working towards something, this card suggests you soon will be able to afford the thing you're dreaming of. And you're getting clear on what you value. Also, I messed up my words there. You are going to find peace. You need to get a clear picture of what you value most. And also take some time out to pamper yourself. Do some things that are nice for yourself because you're worth it. You've earned it, even if you don't think you have. You have. And it's fine to spend some time on yourself every now and then and to take care of yourself and to make you number one for a bit. Also, the new moon at this time is going to be a great time to start a new savings account, no matter how small, whether it's a piggy bank or in an actual bank. Doing any amount into it, this will be a good time to start that, to be able to see an abundance grow from it in the future. Now, we often feel that it's somehow wrong to focus on our finances, but the truth is that money can make life far more comfortable from a physical point of view. Taurus knows this, and the new moon in Taurus, I'm saying Taurus, is the time to work your magic to create the money you want so you can have the creature comforts you want. Remember, though, that someone else is still wishing for what you already have. So, again, some people might be jealous of what you have, might be envious of what you're about to get, but don't let that stand in the way of trying to connect to them and feeling from their perspective and putting yourself in their shoes and not showing off too much when you do get your abundance in. Next, let's look at some moon magic cards. This will give us another phase of the moon, another time with a little message that will be good advice for us. What is good advice for pile 1? They need to hear. Oh, that card jumped out. So let's see what it is. I will persist. My will is strong with the waxing gibbous. Now, let's look into what is the meaning during the waxing gibbous that is important in terms of the moon. This time, the waxing gibbous is great for giving that extra push to something you've been working on but may have been stagnating. If you are struggling with a lack of motivation to finish a project or stick to a routine, make use of these energies to give you a push to help you overcome temptations and resistance. Now, this could be either for the project that you've been working on with the group, whether that's with friends, employers, etc., or a team of some sort. Or it may be saying that it's time for you to apologize and to get to this future point here where you're making amends with this person. And maybe you've been putting it off, but this is saying the new moon is going to be the time to do it and to not push it off. Let's pull some more oracle cards. We will do that with the Secrets of Wanwood. And we'll find out what other token of wisdom can we give pile 1 in relation to this problem that they're facing with this group that they're stagnant on right now, but they need that push. What's going to give them that push? Mindfulness. Again, this is keeping in mind that you need to be mindful, put yourself in this other person's shoes and really see from their perspective. Be like the owl who's wise and looks from afar before just swooping in and making a move. You have to think a few steps ahead and to keep in mind that the world doesn't revolve around you. It revolves around all of us together, and we need to work together. Since we know that the new moon is a good time for spell work, let's look into what spell will be good for us for pile 1 to do on the new moon. What spell should pile 1 do on their next new moon? Whether that's yet to come this month or is the next month, if it's already passed before this read was read. All right, let's find out. Successful career, happy working environment, pay rises and promotions with the number 8, and this is the special sigil in relation to it. Now, I will read from the little booklet that came with these cards here to find out what we need to do for this spell. All right, first we will talk about the history behind the symbol. In the Middle Ages, this symbol was worn on copper pendants to attract success at work. The triangle and the circle attracts divine blessings in relation to your career. The A and M stand for the Latin Anno Mundi, or in the year of the world. The arrow represents motivation and ambition of striving upwards to do our best. Employ this symbol when you want to improve your job or career. If a performance review or pay rise is on the horizon, start working with the successful career symbol to create positive energy around the event. This symbol appears when the time is right to make some big changes in finding more meaningful work. It may even mean starting to take your life's work more seriously. The more you do of what you love, the more you set up an energetic resonance of abundance and joy. You can use the successful career symbol together with some practical steps to create transformation in your working life. Along with lighting a candle in front of the symbol, get a paper and pen and start imagining your ideal career. Write down 5 things you truly love to do, anything that makes your heart sing. Next, work out how many hours a week you would like to devote to making money. Would you prefer an exciting, physically active job or a more relaxed, calmer atmosphere? Do you enjoy meeting new people every day, like the constancy of the same people, or would you like to work alone? What does your work environment look like? Is it corporate, glitzy, homely, inside, outside, city, or country? Is travel involved? And how long is the commute? How often would you see your family and the people you love? Asking yourself these questions really opens up an inner dialogue, helping you to become very clear on what you want and it needs in terms of a fulfilling career. I will hold the symbol up closer so that you can get a better look at it, whether to copy it down or to do a print screen and print it, whatever you need. All right. I really feel like that'll help you in your work environment with your fellow employees, your team, whether it's your boss, people beneath you, or people on the same level as you. Next, pile 1, let's look at the Prism Oracle cards to be able to see a color and a message to keep in mind when working on this spell during the new moon and when trying to move forward from this stagnant present into this future where we make amends and start moving forward. I feel like this card is it. Mystery with purple. Now, purple is a color of psychic intuition and really trying to use the third eye, as it were, to see what can't be seen, to kind of look into people's emotions and what their expressions and body movements are saying versus what they're actually saying. Sometimes people will say things and what they mean is actually something else, but the body doesn't tend to lie. There are motions and gestures and quirks that kind of are tales, like when trying to play a game of cards, that you can notice about people to keep in mind when talking to them to really find out what actually makes them happy or what they're comfortable with. Let's not just go by the face value of what they say. Really delve into this mystery to solve it, to really figure out what's going on. Lastly, pile 1, we will roll this massive dice to find out what number you should pay attention to. What number is going to be lucky for pile 1 during the new moon? 12. All right. Keep in mind for the number 12 during the new moon, whether it comes up on a piece of paper, on a billboard, something scratched into the wall somewhere, in a book, maybe page 12 of something, keep in mind 12, and if it sticks out to you, there might be a message there that's meant for you, pile 1. I hope that read was helpful. If it resonated and helped in any way, shape, or form, please leave a comment, a like, and subscribe if you haven't. And I look forward to doing your read in the future. Thanks again for listening. All right, bye. Hello and welcome. If you picked the Rainbow Moonstone along with the Full Moon, Surrender to the Divine, then this read is for you. Let's first talk about the full moon a little bit. The very word climax brings all sorts of ideas and images to the mind. Agree? But it really is the feeling of this card. Life is coming to a head, a point, a conclusion, or a turning point. There may be some kind of change and possibly even some sort of emotional explosion. Tune into your emotions now and see what they're telling you. They're likely close to the surface, no matter when in the moon cycle you've pulled this card. Matters will soon conclude and you'll find out whether or not your wishes are going to come true. The odds are in your favor as this is a positive card, but you may need to work harder than usual to keep cool as events unfold. It's make or break time. There could be a sense of madness in the air. Breathe deep and stay calm. You may need to forgive someone to release negative energy. And it's time to let go of the past and move on. The full moon marks the climax in the lunar cycle, making this card something of a power card. The full moon is often the time when answers are given to questions asked during the new moon. And pulling this card at any time in the lunar cycle suggests answers will be coming your way before too long. Hopefully, possibly even in this read. Now that we have the basis of the full moon under our belts, let's do a few cards for you, pile 2, to be able to get a general past, present, and future of what's going on with you. Let's attune to you before we go more into this lunar energy of the full moon that encompasses you. All right. First, we have the Eight of Arms, which in this deck is the Eight of Swords. And this card means negative thoughts, self-imposed restriction, imprisonment, victim mentality. If you have been going through a hard time, pile 2, then this is the right pile for you. If this is showing that this is showing that lately things have not been going great and you've been kind of down on yourself. You've been having these imposing thoughts that aren't the best and are bringing you down even more than you already are. And it's just kind of this cycle that keeps continuing on and on. Even if it seems like there might be an end to it, it might just keep dragging and dragging, and that end just keeps getting longer and longer away, or further and further away. But hopefully we can break you out of it and find a way to solve this issue if it hasn't been solved already. Next, we have a card from the Major Arcana, the Hanged Man. I find it really interesting that ropes are used in both of these cards, which to me says that your struggles have been continuing from the past to the present and are still very present in your life. This card means pause, surrender, letting go, new perspectives. This is suggesting you are at the start, at the precipice of doing something new, getting yourself out of this situation. You can see it in sight. And you are just at the point where you're able to fathom it. You're able to see it ahead, actually believe that there is something else aside from what you've been tangled in. And it's a hopeful card. It means good things are certainly to come. Then for your future card, we have the Five of Pentacles. This card means financial loss, poverty, lack mindset, isolation, worry. This suggests that while you've been going through so much where you've been overthinking, you're going to I feel like you're going to burn out on that and be kind of lost in this, not being able to think at all. Just kind of being in this state of loss, of not having much, but still having so much worry. And I want to fix this. I want to help you, Pile 2. We're going to find out a way that we can get advice to harness this lunar energy of the full moon to get you the answers you need and a new perspective that you're seeing right now, and to find a way to avoid this and to get something more positive. Continuing on with the moon, we will use the moon magic cards to find a message that will help you, Pile 2, to be able to feel upright again, to feel positive, and to have a vibrancy about you, to have that spark again. Right now, it's out. There's embers. There's still embers, and we can fan those flames, and we can get something out of this. I just know it, Pile 2. Okay. You have, oh, this is a pretty one, huh? Now for the message. I accept that here now is exactly where I am, and that is a place of profound learning, with the waxing crescent. Now, what this card is saying is that this time that you're in, that you're stuck and that you're stagnant and that you're overthinking and so much is going on, it is not a waste, Pile 2. Don't think of it as, oh, this is just all this time that's been lost. No, this is part of the process that you've needed to go through to learn the lesson that you need to learn, Pile 2. It's not a lesson as in like, oh, this is a punishment, I hope you learn your lesson. No. Anything you can pull something out of anything that happens to you. And just because it's been down lately and things have not been so great, that doesn't mean there isn't something you can take from it that's positive and learn from it, or evolve it, or utilize it in some way. And that's what this card is trying to remind us. I'm feeling pulled to pull more Moonology cards, which is the cards that this is from, our main card. And let's see if we can get more. Oh, actually, let's put a pause on that. I am going to actually tell you we have the waxing crescent here. Now, what is the meaning behind that? The waxing crescent, it is the best time to do spells for growth, the beginning of new projects, initiation, and enhancement. Increase is the operative word, just as the moon is increasing, because the waxing moon is from the moment after it is new until the moment it is full. It is the best time to do something to really spark that new project, to really get back in gear, which is perfect and is exactly what you need, Pile 2. Now, let's pull a bit more advice from the moon with these cards. We have confidence is your key to success, new moon in Leo. Okay, so I have a little book that goes along with this deck, and it'll tell me specifically what the new moon in Leo means. This card heralds the start of a new cycle for you, when you're going to look and feel more gorgeous, more in the spotlight, more like you have something worth showing off. If you want someone's attention, this card says it's coming. However, this may not happen all by itself. You have to be willing to do your bit. That means being proud of who you are and what you have to offer. Think of yourself as the king or queen of the jungle and carry yourself accordingly. This card is also a great omen if you're thinking about a creative project you're working on. Alternatively, it can herald good news or a new start for your children. And this is saying that this is the time, the new moon, is the time to have fun. It's time for you to show the world what you've got, shine your light, have some pride, spoil yourself, you've earned it, and you've turned someone's head, which means someone is intrigued by you, pile 2. Now, Leo is the sign of the big and brave-hearted lion, of pride and showmanship and flirting. The energy around the new moon in Leo, and therefore around this card whenever you pick it, is hot and generous. The energy loves itself, and so should you. If you've been too much of a wallflower, this new moon card in the Leo new moon comes as a reminder that you need to be proud of who you are. Maybe, again, this is just going back to saying you're overthinking things, pile 2, and you are awesome, you are amazing, and you have a lot to offer, and you've been holding yourself back. You've been kind of sheltering yourself from the world, being a wallflower, trying to perhaps, because you're suffering from this dark energy, these bad thoughts. But this card is saying now is the time to come back out, to blossom, to show yourself, to speak to your friends again, and to really let yourself be you. And don't worry about what you're going through clouding and overshadowing the people around you. Just be you and let yourself out. And it's time, pile 2. Next, we'll look at the secrets of Wanwood. To find out what we need to focus on, what pile 2 needs to focus on to get themselves out of this funk and to really get themselves in the mood to start this new creative project, this venture, to really get themselves back out there and show themselves off again. Question. Perhaps there's something you've been holding back because you've been in this wallflower type of energy where you've been kind of quiet, and there's something you need to ask, and go and ask it. Don't worry about whatever it is you're overthinking that's making you think too much. Just go and do it. Question and ask and try to find some answers for yourself, pile 2. Maybe it's you that needs to initiate this conversation or whatever it is with a question of some sort. And that'll get the ball rolling. That'll get things rolling for you again. Let's get some clarification on the question. Calling. There is something that's calling out to you, pile 2, whether you realize it or not, and it wants you to answer, but you can't answer if you're withdrawn, if you're all just bundled in on yourself. You need to put yourself out there, wander through the woods, as it were, not literally, but mentally and spiritually let yourself go and let yourself question things and call back out to whatever could be there. There's so many things we have to discover and to learn and to experience, but unless we call for it and question and go out and try to get it, we will never have it. It's not just going to fall into our laps, as it were. Next, we'll look at the Prism Oracle to find a color along with a word that will give us another message of what we need to encompass. Maybe specifically this month, what do we need to encompass during this lunar cycle? Creativity. We have perhaps, because we've been withdrawn and not feeling our best, have then letting ourselves just kind of slide by and not do much, when really what would help us out would be to invest in our creative ventures. Whatever is that spark, whether it's drawing, writing, painting, sculpting, or perhaps doing something else altogether, like a sport, riding a bike, any of those sorts of things. Maybe we've put it off because we haven't been feeling our best, but maybe just hopping right on it and doing it again is what's going to help us turn this drought around and really bring this downpour of creativity that's really going to help us just blossom and bloom out and shine like a bright light bulb. I say that because I'm pretty sure that's supposed to be a light bulb. Let's look for a spell, pile 2, from the Making Magic Oracle that will help us in this venture to get creative again, get out of this funk, and to really feel ourselves and to be our most best selves. And our best selves is what I'm just trying to say, basically. Help us be at our happy, peaceful state where we feel ready to take on the world and show ourselves off to the world. Okay, we have the star with the silver energy of a star brings good luck and serendipity, which is exactly what we need. We need serendipity. So I will now pull out the book that goes along with this deck to be able to find out what is the spell we need to do that goes along with this sigil to be able to get this serendipitous nature. The 8-pointed star, otherwise known as an octagram, is a powerful tool in sacred geometry, or the practice of assigning special meaning to geometric shapes. The 8-pointed star symbol is referenced in many world religions, but holds special meaning in Buddhism, Christianity, and paganism. In Buddhism, an octagram represents the eightfold path of reaching enlightenment. In Christianity, the 8-pointed star signifies the Star of Bethlehem, and in paganism, it represents the Wheel of the Year. This symbol is also known as an alchemical symbol for creation and manifesting material desires. This is perfect, pile 2. The star is a big picture symbol that is perfect for your higher order goals. Use this symbol when you want to help large groups of people. The 8-pointed star will create serendipitous events and good luck for any endeavor that comes from the heart and is intended to help humankind. Work with the silver energy of this symbol to create a higher, finer vibration that will bring positive and lasting change to people who need it most. In numerology, the number 8 reminds us that we are spiritual beings having physical experience here on earth, for it is the number of material and spiritual wealth combined. As you work with this symbol, your higher consciousness will be activated. This symbol brings with it increased awareness, intuition, and compassion. You may find that your perspective on life changes, and personal goals become less about you and more about helping others. The star at its essence is about transmuting energy. Work with it to change lower energies into lighter, healing ones, and watch how serendipity and good luck start to become regular occurrences. All right, pile 2, I would highly suggest utilizing this symbol and focusing on it, praying on it even, drawing it yourself and working it as a rune into a spell that you create, or lighting a candle near it even. And I think that will help you very much turn these negative aspects into positive ones that will help you. And the spirits want to remind you that we're not erasing these bad feelings, these bad emotions. No, we're transmuting them. We're turning them into light, healing, positive ones. Because again, we can take something good out of what's happening. It doesn't have to be a waste. We can utilize what we've gone through and the energies we felt as we've gone through it to help us in the future. And right now even, in the present. Last but certainly not least, pile 2, I will roll this giant dice to find out what number this week is going to be lucky for you. What number is going to be lucky for pile 2? And then we will go over a little bit more about this full moon energy. All right. What number is going to be lucky for pile 2? 2. That's funny. So pile 2's lucky number this week will be the number 2. We also got 21 here, so keep an eye out for 21 and the number 2 this week. Now, going over all of this, I feel that right now you are not full. You are empty right now, pile 2. But keeping all these things in mind and exploring your creative paths along with exuding yourself and just being you and all that you have and putting yourself out there, that will make you whole again. It'll make you full, like the full moon. I know that's kind of cheesy, but I really feel like right now that this will be what will help you. And I hope you got something from this read, pile 2. And if you did, if it resonated in any way, shape at all, please leave a like, a comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. If you're curious about any of the cards in any of the decks, the link to them will be down in the description below. And thank you again for listening. And I hope you tune in next time. All right. Have a good one. Bye. Hello, pile 3, and welcome. If you chose the waning moon with what do you need to release, then this pile is for you. And of course, we also have the Sakura agate, excuse me. And these two, they actually fit over each other perfectly. What a match. All right, let's get into it, pile 3. Before we go over everything, let's start with a past, present, and future read on yourself and what's been going on with you. And this is going to help us kind of target what to look at, what we need help with, what we need guidance from, and what kind of energy we're emitting and what we want to admit versus what we are and what we can and what we will. And we'll go over all of that today, if that made any sense at all. Now, we have our spread. Before we go into these, let's actually first look into what the waning moon means. The waning moon points to what's falling away. Life goes in cycles, and sometimes we need downtime or to let go. No matter when in the moon cycle you pull this card, it's a sign that a situation has peaked, for better or for worse, and it's time for you to go easier. It's the autumn and the winter of the cycle. So what do you need to release? Almost certainly something from the situation you're asking about. This card can be very positive, but it can still be gently suggesting that you let something go and stop trying so hard. It's safe to let go and move on. Move forward with as little resistance as possible. This is not the time to start a new project. Releasing emotional baggage is recommended now. Say sorry to someone. Do energetic work such as meditation or yoga, and soon you will see what lies ahead. At this time of the waning cycle, take a moment to look up in the skies every night. You will see the moon growing smaller and smaller as she moves from full to new again. It's the time when things are falling away. It's certainly not the time to cling on to anyone or anything. Drawing this card suggests your situation is an autumn and winter phase. So hunker down and start the regeneration process. Now that we have that in mind, let's go over our spread. First, we have the Fool in reverse. Here's what it looks like normal ways. Now, the Fool in reverse means you are holding back. You're being a bit reckless. You're taking risks. And what does that mean? How can you hold back and take risks at the same time? Well, this means you're holding back your true self and you're just kind of letting go and you're on autopilot. pile 3. You're not really thinking about what you're doing and the consequences behind it or your meaning into it, and you're just kind of throwing things out there into the world without, again, having that intention. And because of that, it's left you kind of aloof and adrift and not settled in any way, whether positive or negative, but just kind of chaotically giving out into the world and also receiving such. This card also symbolizes challenges yet to come. So this suggests that we still have a ways to go before the end of the cycle. But since you are in the end phase of it, the autumn-winter phase of it, as this card suggests, it's going to be drawing to an end soon. But there's still a few more things that you have to go through, pile 3. Next, we have the 3 of Swords in reverse. Let's do this normal ways really quick. And this looks like a card of heartbreak. Now, this card means negative self-talk, releasing pain, optimism, forgiveness. So perhaps you are finally you've finally moved from this stage of the Fool in reverse to being in the 3 of Swords in reverse, which is a positive step forward, because it means that even though you are being too harsh on yourself and you need to give yourself a break, you are also in the state where you're finally able to forgive those who have harmed you and those who have slighted you, whether it big or small. And at the same time, you still have this clouded judgment around yourself and this really fierce introspection that's not fairly showing you. It's showing a reversal of you, something that you're honing in on all your negative traits. And instead, you need to focus on the positive. And I know that's hard to do when you're in this state. But hopefully through this forgiveness and through this optimism that's starting to form for you, pile 3, you'll be able to find it. Next, we have the Hierophant, and not in reverse this time. This time we have the card upright. Now, this card means spiritual wisdom, religious beliefs, conformity, tradition, institutions. So perhaps you might be starting school soon, pile 3, or starting college or the new year, the new semester. Or you are perhaps getting back into church, into religious aspects of your life or spiritual aspects. And this is suggesting that instead of being all this chaotic energy in the past, you are forgiving this negative harshness against you while still holding your negative feelings about yourself. And then you're conforming to what you feel is what's right based on what society states it as. And that's what I think actually what this means by when it says the conformity and I was about to say intuitions again, institutions. And I don't know if that's what's best for you, pile 3. It could be what's best for you. I know it wouldn't be what's best for me, but it's not about me. It's about you. Let's look a little more into this to find out how you can utilize your lunar energy that you're exhibiting, the waning moon, to have a positive flush of cards, as it were, a positive outlook or aspects to things to look forward to. Let's look more into the Moonology cards, which is what this card is from, to find out what sort of energy, what sort of emotions, what do we need to exude to really feel better about ourselves, to be less negative about our self-outlook, and to have more positive feelings about what we can do and what we're capable of. A personal issue reaches resolution. Full moon in Cancer. All right. Let's look into what this card means. Things are likely to get very heated as full moon in Cancer is a super emotional sign. So there could be something of an explosion of feelings around now or surrounding your question. It's important to be sensitive to other people when you pull this card. There are some very fine sensibilities around, so tread carefully as you move towards your goals or dreams. This card indicates an especially feminine time. It also heralds the time to deal with any family issues coming up. Nothing to worry about. It signals a challenge is now coming to an end, which we've already have gotten here in the cards. This card also suggests both that a domestic matter or private issue will soon come to a head and that it's a great time to move house. The answer to your question lies in being a kind leader. It is time for you to step up and agree to overcome your insecurities. It may be best to move towards what you want in a sideways manner. Meditate to soothe heightened emotions. Don't be clingy. Stop sulking. And have you had enough family time lately? The heightened emotions of the Moon-Cancer combination can't be ignored. However, Cancer is one of the Moon's 2 home signs, along with Taurus. So astrologically speaking, the Moon loves to be in this sign. In fact, she rules Cancer. This means that with this card, there's a sense that all is as it should be, or don't worry, all will be well soon. So let's keep this in mind, pile 3, that right now emotions are heightened. There's a lot going on, which we've already heard here in the 3 of Swords. And we just need to be kind to others and be kind to ourselves and to have a full perspective of everything around us, not just our own, because right now our judgment's a bit clouded, we're a bit heated, and we're not seeing things clearly. I think you need to take some time to meditate, pile 3, perhaps listen to some relaxing, soothing noises such as water, ocean sounds, rainfall, things of that sort. And that could really help you, I think, get into a better headspace. Next, we're going to look into the secrets of Wandwood to find out more of what we can do to help you, pile 3. What can we do? What can pile 3 do to help themselves love them? How can they love themselves? What do they need to focus on to gain a better perspective of just how great they are? And to realize that they need to put some love into themselves and not just other people. Though being kind to other people around them will certainly be helpful. Forgive. We have that already here again with the 3 of Swords. Forgive. There's forgiveness that needs to be had. And perhaps it's not someone else that you need to forgive, but yourself, pile 3. You need to forgive yourself, the things you've done, things that you think are so bad and terrible. You need to forgive them and realize that forgiveness doesn't just come from other people, but ourselves too. And I think that'll help you move on, pile 3, from whatever it is that's holding you back and is making you overthink and have these dark thoughts and these imposing thoughts that need to just go away. Or rather, instead of going away, they need to be replaced with something positive, with some self-love. Next, I'm going to pull from the Moon Magic cards. What message does pile 3 need to be able to forgive themselves and to be able to move on? What message does pile 3 need to hear the most? Okay, I'm feeling this card actually. Let's see. Here's our image. And on the other side, I am magnetic to what I want. I repel what I do not want with the supermoon. This to me says, pile 3, that you have a strong personality in that you know what you want and what you don't want. And I think you've been utilizing that to have this hasty behavior of, okay, just this, and that, and choosing this way or that way without putting much thought into it because you just already know what you like and you don't like. But maybe it's time to take a pause and to think about things through a little more and how they'll affect other people and you. And that might help you with whatever guilt you're carrying that you need to forgive here. And it'll help you prevent you from keep making those problems happen again and those things rise up again. Next, we'll look into the Prism Oracle to get some more words of wisdom. What advice can be given to pile 3 to help them forgive this guilt that they're holding and to move on and to have a positive future where they don't have to conform. They can just be them and fully shine as them without any worry or guilt or overthinking things. Caution, I think I need to pull another card here. What do you mean by caution? Caution of what? Flow. Okay. I think what this is saying is that you need to, because you can, again, like with this card, you know what you like and you don't like. This is saying that, yes, you need to slow down and to not go with the flow so much as like you're coasting. Pile 3. This is what this is saying. It's warning you about coasting and just kind of going with the flow. You need to make some intentional choices. You need to decide to 1, forgive yourself, and 2, to meditate, to calm down, to work through these emotions before blowing up and throwing them up over everyone else around you. You need to not just go by your instincts alone, but take a step back and really just kind of meditate on the situation at hand. Next, we will look at these spell cards to find out what spell can you do, pile 3, that will help you get through this month and to utilize your lunar energy that you have from the waning moon to be able to withstand the winter and get through these harsher times and be able to be your full self and be able to be kind to others and to be respectful to others while still being you and not holding back, even if you can sometimes maybe perhaps be blunt or again a bit brash. We're gonna find a balance with this spell. Okay. We have fire. The element of fire heralds new life and positive transformation. That's what I think you need, pile 3. Now, there's a booklet that comes with this deck, and I will read it to find out a little bit more about this spell. The element of fire guards the realms of spirit, vitality, and passion. It is associated with the color red, the season of summer, and the direction of south. In the 16th century, lizard-like spirits called salamanders became connected with this element. They are known today as the elementals of fire. Salamanders guard all forms of flame and fire and gift us with inspiration and energy. Fire is courageous and purifying. It promises success and transformation. The tarot suit of wands, which is related to the fire element, encourages determination and ambition. Work with the element of fire for victory, achievements, and inspiring new ideas. Sometimes the most healing thing you can do is stand up for yourself. Many spiritual people believe that expressing anger and speaking directly is wrong or somehow unevolved. However, building resentment and constantly swallowing your words blocks the throat chakra and saps your energy. Anger that has been properly expressed is not damaging but healing. If this card finds its way into your consciousness, be sure that this is the right time to speak up and express yourself. If you find yourself being spoken to in a patronizing way or people are taking advantage of your good nature, use the energy of fire to say enough. Find the courage to defend yourself and, if necessary, fight fire with fire. Find your inner warrior and stand up for your right to be heard. Let your words transform and heal. Visualize a powerful circle of fire around your personal space every time you feel others trying to dominate and belittle you. In time, you will find you no longer attract these circumstances or people. With this new clarity inspiring new ideas, they'll flow along with a renewed passion for life. This is what I think you need, Pile 3, because this is what's going to help you forgive yourself, because you're holding yourself back and you need to be your true self while also, well, you have a pride about you, Pile 3, and that's nothing to be ashamed of that's not an evil or negative trait. It's something you can utilize to make sure that people don't take advantage of you. And that's a wonderful thing to have. And I would suggest utilizing the spell of imagining this ring of fire around you. Anytime someone tries to take advantage of you, to sort of, one, take a moment to pause, think about what you're about to say, be a bit cautious, and to then let out your true desire, what you feel is what's happening to you and what you want to happen. Make sure if someone is saying something to you that you don't agree with, that you respectfully don't agree with them, and to say why, to give them a good reason. Last but not least, we are going to roll this giant dice here to find out what number should Pile 3 be paying attention to this week to be able to just have their best and most fulfilling time possible. Oh, the number 2, which we got for Pile 2 as well. So perhaps Pile 2 will be a good read for you to pay attention to as well, Pile 3. And if any of these decks interest you, they will be linked in the description down below. Thank you so much for listening to this read today, and I hope it helped you in some way. If it resonated at all, please leave a like, a comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. And I hope I can do your read in the future, Pile 3. I hope you have a wonderful day, morning, night, evening, whenever this read reaches you. And just have a good one. Bye.